What's up, Backgammon fans? Smash that like button, subscribe and click on the notification bell to not miss out on future Backgammon videos. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Backgammon Galaxy, and follow my personal Instagram, Marc Olsen 10.
Frank, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming up from San Diego. I know Mochy is really looking forward to playing you, especially live. To enable us all to be able to do that, we've all been vaccinated. And
I have as well, yes, double vaccinated.
And we just had a great time in New York, getting everyone together. How'd you prepare for your game with Mochy?
Well, you know, it's funny. COVID has probably been the best thing to happen to my game because it's just been a way for me to play backgammon online. I don't get to many live tournaments these days. I run a business, I've been raising a family over the last several years, so I've been playing backgammon a long time, but I'm very anxious to get out and play more live backgammon, and this is a great opportunity to do it. And I just want to commend all of the participants in the Mochy Challenge because it's not easy to go against the best player in the world, particularly in this format. And I think it's just great for the game, and I'm really excited about it. And I love Mochy. I think he's such a wonderful ambassador to the game, and you are as well.
So thank you. But you have a memory playing Mochy before he was Mochy.
I did. I believe that's right. Yeah. So probably our most memorable match was we played in the Cyprus doubles when I won the doubles in Cyprus in a very big field. We played in the round of 16, but playing Mochy way back in Las Vegas many years ago. Yeah.
So we've got our board set up outside. You've got Mochy's on his way down. So I wish you the best of luck.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's just it's a wonderful opportunity to play somebody, especially in this format where we can really assess our play.
And getting together.
Yes.
It's like now we can do this.
Yeah. No, I think it's great. I'm excited. Thank you for putting it together.
No, thank you.
All right.
See you, mate.
All right.
Mochy.
Hey.
Morning.
Good morning.
We're coming towards the end of our trip. Frank came up from San Diego as part of your online competition that you've created. So how did you come up with the concept?
Yes. So I was trying to get to the top of the Backgammon Galaxy rating. And on the way, I wanted to challenge anyone who is within top 30. So I made an open challenge, and there are 7 people to the challenge. And I already played 2 matches, and I beat them both. And this is going to be the 3rd one. And it happened to be live because I'm here in Los Angeles, beautiful Santa Monica Beach. And my opponent, Frank Frigo, who was kind enough to be here from San Diego. So we have opportunity to play in live. After so many months in isolated.
Yeah, it's been a long haul.
Yeah.
When we started our chouette in April last year, we thought maybe this is for a couple of months.
Nah, yeah.
But it's run longer. We've had over 100 European chouette.
Yeah.
and about 180
Yes,
Pacific.
Online Zoom thread. Yes.
Online Zoom thread, which has been great because not everyone could travel, get out. There've been lockdowns in all different parts of the world.
Sure.
And this allowed us to get together, play, see each other. It was very social. I think it's more important than I thought it would be in the beginning.
Right, right.
So, getting back to live,
Yeah,
are you ready?
yeah.
Okay, let's go.
What?
No. I was helping you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You have to send me that one.
I'll send you to. Yep.
Okay. All right. Good match.
Good match.
Oh, just a moment.
Oh, yeah, sure,
Okay.
sure.
Sorry.
Are you rolling on your overhead? You're rolling up here? What? You rolling? It's on?
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
It's on.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Good match.
All right, good man.
What's up, Backgammon nerds? This is Marc Olsen from Backgammon Galaxy doing commentary on this wonderful match. It was meant to be an online challenge, but Mochy was on a road trip throughout the US alongside of Ralph Bird, and they happened to come across one of the states of one of his opponents, Frank Frigo. So they decided to simply play the match on a live board instead, and then we're gonna settle the rating afterwards on Galaxy. So that's cool. Then we get to see a little bit of backgammon in a real life setting here, which is rare these days. Hopefully coming back more and more, little by little now. But yeah, I think we're in for a treat here. Obviously we have Mochy, the #1 ranked player in the world. He's the current UBC world champion. He is the current #1 ranked grandmaster, actually super grandmaster, on the BMAP ranking list. He's #1 on the Giants of Backgammon list, and he's a world champion from 2009. So he's got all the credentials that one can achieve in the world of backgammon. But Frank Frigo is a really strong contender. He's a world champion as well. I believe it was in the year of 1995 or somewhere in the mid-90s when Frank was quite young. He managed to win the world championship in Monte Carlo. And currently he's ranked, I believe, number 18 on Backgammon Galaxy with a very strong Galaxy rating of around 2900. So Frank is definitely a strong contender here. So it's going to be exciting to see how they actually play. And I think we have the first really tough decision here in the match for this 4-3. Because Frank, he can hit by bringing 2 down from the midpoint. Or he can just build a point here. We have the extreme gammon evaluation as well. Mochy's just sipping a glass of water. I wonder if Mochy knows what the right play here is. And according to extreme gammon, it is a little bit better to make the 4-point here. To just go for some structure here, try to prime. The race is very close. It's nice to hit as well because you send the second back checker back and you're gaining in the race and all that. But you fail to develop your structure. And you're leaving quite a few shots from the bar. But I don't mind too much. It was a small mistake here from Frank. But again, not a big deal, quite close. And look at this, now he does get to build some structure, an even better structure, a pure 4 prime. But he lost the midpoint in the process, which can be a problem. The midpoint serves as a very nice landing spot for his back checkers, and Frank is ahead in the race, so he would really like to have the midpoint at this point, so he could use it as a landing spot. Okay, what about this 3-1? It's interesting for Mochy, so he could play this play, which is the bold and flexible move. I like this play. I think there's a lot of duplication as well, because some of the hitting numbers are also building numbers. But I guess the safer play would be this, where he just slides over to the 10 point. Okay, Mochy is thinking here. It's also a tactical decision. Look at the beautiful settings. I believe they are playing at the Fairmont Hotel. 4-2 for Frank, not bad. So Mochy did go for the flexible one, and I know he has this 4-1. Sorry, I was just thinking about this play for a bit because it seems a bit too loose now to play 13-8 and keep the 2 blots. That's a bit of a loose play, in my opinion. Really nice setting. Oh, so we have Grandmaster Mochy on the transcription. Also one of the very best players in the world doing the transcription. So Mochy is looking at the 4 and then creeping up with the ace. But the best play seems to be making the 12 point and slotting the 7. So that would be coming down here, making the 12 point and then slotting the 7 point. You get a little bit of outside prime going on here when you have the 12 and the 13 point. But what a tough play this is. Stepping up seems to be a blunder. So stepping up here to the 23 point seems to be a blunder, and Mochy does it. Aha! Mochy is stepping into blitz here. He's stepping into the 2 additional attackers here, and he's in the range now of 6s, 5s, and 4s to get blitzed. So that was a blunder actually from Super Grandmaster Mochy. Maybe we're seeing a little bit of game 1 syndrome here. So game 1, we need to get our neurons firing, and we're always a bit weaker in game 1. That's just the way it is. I don't know if Mochy played a game or 2 before this match starting to get warmed up, but he couldn't find the best play there. Okay, 5-1 for Frank. Keep it simple. Yeah, not too much he can do there. Couldn't really do anything better than that. 6-4. Wow, what a roll from Mochy. Now we have a prime versus prime position. Maybe we even had that roll before. Wow, the 6 prime. Good roll from Frank. But this is far from over because Mochy has a ton of prime value as well. I guess the best roll would be double deuces to build the 6 prime as well. 5-4 is not a good roll. It's not a good roll. Yeah, so that's the best play. Well played, Mochy. He's sad of leaving a shot with 6-4 and giving up the midpoint here, but it's better than burying checkers. So you don't want to bury checkers behind the anchor. That's not efficient. It's much better to have them placed on the prime here so they can attack if Frank was to run with a 6. So the best strategy here for Frank is to make an attacking move, which is also pure. So this is not a blitz move per se. It's actually more of a priming move, or it's a little bit of both, because it's pure, which means he can extend his prime back to a 5 prime in case of Mochy fanning, which is what happens here. Every roll is a cube decision, so Frank was just shortly thinking about cubing here, but he decided that it's still too even of a game, and he was right, of course. Mochy has one checker behind the 5 prime, and Frank has 2 checkers behind the 5 prime. But if Frank rolls the 6, look at this, we have a little bit of sweat developing under the armpits of Frank here. It looks like a warm summer day as well at the Fairmont Hotel. Okay, he rolls, which is the correct decision according to XG. Would have been a small blunder, a double here. He's only 54% favorite, Frank, but it's so volatile that it's not a huge mistake to double this one because of the high volatility. That's a great entry for Mochy here. And Mochy doesn't want to play with blots in his inner board. Good play from Mochy. He realizes that he's under attack with his last back checker. Okay, now Mochy could actually consider the cube. Look at this. So again we have volatility. Either Mochy can roll an ace and hit, which is devastating because now Frank will have 3 checkers behind the 5 prime and a ton of crunching numbers from the bar. Or Mochy could simply fan and have Frank roll anything but a 6. And Frank is going to collapse his front position slowly but steadily. We see Ralph in the background here alongside with Bob Whitel. I don't see who the third person at the table is, so they're sitting there having lunch. While Mochy is having this tricky decision here, cube action decision in a priming game, or a priming battle. Very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, it must be an easy take, because Frank can simply win the game by rolling a 6 next time. Of course, not completely win it, but you know, maybe he would actually win it, because he could probably cash the position if he rolls a 6 next time. So it's gotta be a take. There's still, even if Frank crunches his inner board to a 5-point board, he could still win the game actually by rolling 6s. And okay, here we have the result from XG. It says it is a no double and a huge take, but look how close it is. It's just a 37 millipoint mistake. The volatility level is super high here, because Frank is just on the verge of crunching. Mochy makes the brilliant decision by rolling. He's playing super precise backgammon here, but I think he rolled a market loser. Of course, it depends on what Frank rolls. I think Frank should just make a defensive play here. Yeah, I think that's the play. Good play, Frank. And now it must be too good to double. Mochy can easily cash after any sequence except if Frank rolls a double 6. Okay, the gammon rates, as according to XG, it's basically a borderline decision whether it's too good. Mochy chooses for the faster way, just cash it, which was correct according to XG by 4 millipoints. But I think, you know, it's only in the sequence. That's the beautiful new Neptune Alpha board from Backgammon Galaxy. Make sure that you check it out. We're gonna put the link below. It's $199, which is great value for money. 40mm checkers. Super cool board. Yeah, you know, Mochy chose to just cash that position here. He didn't want to play on too good to double, even though he probably could without giving away any equity really. But according to XG, it was correct to double it, albeit completely borderline. It was basically just a free roll. The gammon rates were not too high, so I guess that's why you want to just safeguard yourself against the double 6s next time from Frank. Okay, look at this. Mochy knows this opening sequence. Oh yeah, that's opening theory. After your opponent runs with 6-5, making the deuce point is slightly the best play. Good move from Frank, or good roll. We've got Justin on the camera there in the background, doing a great job with the B-roll footage. Great roll here from Frank Frigo. 6-3 from Mochy. I only see one play, and that's the running play. Yep. Oh, look at this! There was another play. There was another play, slotting, unstacking. Wow, what an interesting play. Since Mochy had the stronger inner board and he had the stack on the midpoint. Wow, that was a cool play. Mochy didn't see it, I didn't see it, only XG saw it. So, I mean, the machine is strong. The machine is very strong. The moment I saw it, I fell in love with the move actually. What a cool move that was. You have the stronger inner board so you can make a ball play. And just so efficient to unstack the midpoint and slot the 7-point. So now Mochy has this 6 to play here. He entered with a 3, and he's kind of has the same problem as last roll here. The stack on the midpoint is ugly, but he's trying to figure out if there's anything better here. Maybe he can optimize a bit, exploiting the dice probabilities, the tactics of backgammon. So he's looking at slotting, he's looking at coming down, and he's looking at coming out. All three plays have merits. Coming out may give you some more contact value out here in the outfield and make it more difficult for that blot there to come home safely. But it also gives a great opportunity for Frank to just unstack his heavy midpoint. This play seems to be the safest play, but it doesn't really do much of contact value, and it doesn't solve the problem of this stack on the midpoint. Let's see, actually, I'm leaning towards the other play, the unstacking play. Let's see what actually... Oh, Frank is missing a cube here.
It's a 9-point match. That's interesting. So there is a bit of blitz value for Frank here, even though he only has 9 checkers in the zone, just because of the blots of Mochy here. So he could potentially start a blitz. So he has a blitzing advantage, he has a priming advantage, and he has a small racing advantage as well. So 3 small advantages here. Okay, he comes home safe. By the way, I didn't get to see the result from XG, but it didn't mark it as an error, so I'm gonna assume that Mochy played the best play with the 6-3. Double sixes is a great shot for Mochy because all of a sudden he caught up in the race. So now again Frank has a decision here. Every roll is a cube decision, Frank, but he just insta rolls. I think he's right, since the race is now so close. It's a one-man back position. He needs to develop his position a little bit or get a bit of a better race advantage. Now Mochy is up in the race, so look at his move order here. The first move he made was 24 to 21, stepping up with a back checker here because he knew that he was ahead in the race by 4 pips, so he cannot afford to get stuck behind a prime. It's completely essential that he's going to try to escape and achieve freedom with the back checker there and get into a 50-50 race rather than being stuck behind a prime, which is usually fatal. Frank is looking at a quite ugly play here, but it's a little bit of an ugly roll, but I don't see any reason to playing 6-1 with the 6. I mean, why would you play that one, Frank? The 3 is kind of forced because you're not going to leave any shots, so you're going to play 6-3 and down. I think this is too big. Okay, the computer likes it. The computer likes it. Okay, cool play. Very nice play, Frank. You were freaking us out by looking at the very weird variation of playing 6-1 or 7-1 with the 6 instead of just playing 13-7. But fair enough. You found the best play, and it was actually a really great play. Okay, so the race here was even Steven before, and Frank correctly didn't double. I believe it was just a small error to double there. And then Frank rolls a double 5, which is definitely going to get him into the cubing territory here. Mochy follows up with a double 3, which is quite nice as well, 12 pips. So I believe Mochy gets into take territory. So we're going to see a cube next time. It's going to be a double, and Mochy is going to have a rather easy take, because with 89 pips, Mochy can take it as long as he is not down less than 10 pips. And he's going to be down 8 pips here, so this is a clear take. He's got 2 pips more than needed. He does have a little gap here on the 5-point, but that shouldn't be a big concern for Mochy. He's gonna fill out that gap with some of the outfield checkers, so there's not really any effective pip count discounting here. Yeah, it's just a completely standard double take in the race here. 8 pips up. Mochy does just double checking here. Look at these beautiful surroundings. Yeah, easy take for Mochy. Easy take. I bet that woman in the background with her laptop had no idea that we had 2 of the best backgammon players in the world battling it out here on the table next to her. 5-3, I believe.
Oh, right. We didn't even ask about that. I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, they don't play with dice on checker. I like that rule though. It speeds up the game. No need to waste time, but it seems that the players doesn't play, and I think we had a comment from Frank that said, hey, we didn't even agree whether we play with it or not, but Mochy was just quick to pick up the dice. I think it's fair enough. If you don't agree to that rule before, you're gonna have to play
only, right?
you're gonna have to play as with a reroll if the dice land on the checker. That is the standard conventional rule.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay, so now we just have a race, straight race. Nothing too much is happening here. The players are trying to get as good of a racing efficient checker distribution as possible. It's a 9-point match. Mochy is leading 1-0. Mochy is hunting for Galaxy rating points. He's trying to get all the way up and challenge Staniak Siska, who's currently number 1. I shouldn't say currently, he's basically been number 1 on Backgammon Galaxy for 99% of the Backgammon Galaxy time of existence. So Staniek is the king of the hill on Galaxy, but Mochy is trying to challenge him on that. Let's see if he can do it here today. So the Galaxy rating, in order to win Galaxy rating, you must win the match and play the lower error rate. I believe they have deeper analysis settings on this match to settle who the error rate winner is going to be than Backgammon Galaxy's server, which is 3-ply. So if Mochy wants to win Galaxy rating points, he must win the match and play lower error rate. So pretty cool. We see the PRs here. But the error rate, I'm using PR and error rate basically in the same, completely identical meaning. It's just that Extreme Gammon calls it PR or performance rating, and Backgammon Galaxy calls it error rate, like the original term from Snowy and Canute Backgammon. It looks like a sure win to Frank here, unless Mochy can bring 4 checkers off on this roll. He couldn't. There is the 2-1-2-1. No, there's not. it's a gin position for Frank. Beautiful backgammon board. Here we saw the ad again for the new Neptune Alpha
The
board.
analysis should be done by Wild Cross.
Oh, okay.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's normal, I think. Okay. Because
Okay,
Backgammon Galaxy does 3-ply.
3-ply, right?
But
yeah.
we have a
Sure, that's
available.
fine. And we'll be able to put this into Galaxy, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a deal.
Yeah, so the players are just discussing here. And Mochy was just clarifying that they're using the Extreme Gammon World Class analysis to settle the PR. I mean, now that they have it available, there's no reason to just use the 3-ply from Galaxy. 4-2, this is opening theory. And Mochy, of course, he knows his stuff. He's not gonna make a mistake here in the second roll of the game. Frank hits back with a 6-4 powerful roll. Really crucial to hit that checker, send that. Oh, what is this? Is this a double hit? I think this is a double hit for Mochy. Yes. Good play, Mochy. 4-5. Great entry roll from Frank here. 6-2. Mochy has 4 back checkers now, so of course he's gonna move one of the back checkers. His prime objective right now is to activate the back checkers as well as he can and somehow find a way to make an advanced anchor. Good play from Mochy here. That was the better play. It's a bit loose having 4 blots like this, but at least it's super flexible as well, and Frank is underdeveloped. Good play from Frank. It's better to hit and make the 7 than to make the 5 here. That's not a good roll for Mochy. That's a terrible roll, actually. He would have preferred just a normal mid-size roll where he could simply make an advanced anchor. Now he's getting stuck deep on the ace point, and look at this beautiful roll from Frank. Frank has a pure, strong prime, and he's gonna be looking at doubling next time. Even after this perfect roll from, oh, not perfect, super good roll from Mochy. Yes, we do see the cube. I like this cube. I like it, and he didn't even take any time to find it. So, Mochy is thinking here. The problem for Mochy here is that he's down in the race and he's getting stuck behind a strong prime. That is why Frank is doubling. So you could ask yourself, what are the threats here from Frank? He's on the bar. Shouldn't he enter first before he can cube? Well, Frank has some threats here. First of all, he could hit with a 4 and send a 4th checker back. But all the sequences where he gets Mochy into a priming game and Mochy starts crunching. So for instance, let's say Frank enters with a 5, anchors up, and Mochy rolls a double 5 or something like this. Then it's basically became too good to double. Mochy fans, great take by Mochy, by the way, because Mochy still has fine chances in this game. He has a ton of contact value. So contact value is all of your accumulated ways of winning by simply having some contact with your back checkers. Oh, sorry, it was Frank who danced. I believe I said Mochy danced. I mean, Frank obviously danced. And a great roll from Mochy. He gets to attack, and now he really wants to dodge. There we have the counter plan from Mochy here. He's getting some priming done himself. Okay, the ace is nice and efficient. He would have preferred to split the back checkers, get up at the edge of Frank's prime, but he can still play a pretty solid 4, playing down from the midpoint and slotting the prime. Okay, Frank is ahead in the race by 14 pips after this move, which means that he doesn't want to get stuck behind a prime. So I think we're gonna see some movement with the back checkers here from Frank. Yeah, that's the first 2 I play as well. You could anchor up on the deuce point, but you're kind of priming yourself. Yeah, that's the third one. Well played, Frank. He doesn't want the anchor on the deuce point because you're gonna prime yourself if you do that. And now this is the best play. Really solid play by Frank here. He finds the best variant. I would have been tempted to play 24 to 23 with the remaining ace here at the end. I would have maybe just to maximize my chance of making an anchor or escaping a checker. But Frank's play was better in his offense, of course. He gets to flex the spare checkers here on the 6 point and have better flexibility. Oh, Mochy made an illegal play there. Yeah, so he splits with a 3, which is kind of mandatory. He needs to get the back checkers going. He can't. Otherwise, he's gonna get stuck behind the prime. But I think he needs to attack. Yeah, good play, Mochy. Very, very good play. He's splitting while hitting. So that acts as a tempo hit. It removes a lot of the most dangerous blitzing jokers. And Frank is quite unlucky to fan yet another time. Mochy is considering recubing here. I think the score is coming into play because Mochy is down 1 point, and you might think to yourself, well, 1 point in a 9-point match, you're down 2-1. That can't be all that important, is it? But to quote Dirk Schiemann, the Grandmaster from Germany, no score, what is it? There's no such thing as a normal score when it comes to recubing. We see the XG result. It was a no double. Mochy was right. It was simply too close of a game. But let's see if Frank dances yet another time. Then I think we're gonna see the recube from Mochy. Yes, he does. I think we're in cubing territory. Mochy wanna be extremely aggressive. This is a gammon full position, which means he wants to be aggressive when he's trailing in the score. And it's a recube, which makes everything even more crazy. This would probably be an easy take for money, but at the score, I don't know, man. This feels like such a powerful cube for Mochy. He's got the barrel, which is the perfect 4-point board here. We call this the barrel. So we've got the rack, that's the first 3, then we got the barrel, and then we got the beast if we got the 5-point board. So this is, okay, a quick take from Frank. Okay, it is a take. It's a double, and it's a take according to XG. Mochy is 63% favorite with 28% gammon. I would have spent eternity on thinking about that take there from Frank because he's leading in the match. I thought that this was such a difficult decision to make, and it was rather close in equity when you're considering that it's a 4 cube. 92 millipoints is not a whole lot, so it was actually rather close. I'm surprised how fast Frank took it. Maybe Frank has more money game experience. Maybe he didn't even really realize how dangerous this cube was, and just reverted to his normal money game play where this is an easy take because we basically have a priming battle, but where Mochy has the advantage of having blitz value as well. 2-6 from Frank, and he's back in it. Yeah, this is the safer play, but the problem is that he voluntarily leaves 2 checkers behind the 5 prime. So the better play is to come out. You know, you want to fight for freedom, so come out, and you fight for mobility as well. You don't get to strip the midpoint. So the small mistake here from Frank, but nevertheless understandable one. Yeah, he received the 4 cube. Really nice footage here from Justin. Mochy gets to run, not a bad roll. 6-4, I think he preferred to anchor up on the edge of the prime, but 6-4 was not bad for running. 6-3, that's basically a joker, I think. I think it's a joker. Mochy wants to... Oh yeah, there we go. Mochy finally did it. He made the anchor at the edge of the prime. There's always this battle at the edge of the prime, and Mochy won that battle by anchoring. And now the spare checkers here of Frank are kind of awkwardly placed because they can't go to their natural position, which would be to fill up the next gap in your prime. They have to go behind the anchor, which is not nearly as efficient. Of course, Frank is gonna spend the ace here, I think, at least, and give the direct shot here. I think that's the key, because Frank is up 9 pips after the move, so it's just a huge ace to roll here to step up. The problem, of course, is that if you step up, then you have to play safe. Then you cannot play safe with the ace. Look at this. Oh, that's a mistake, Frank. Okay, not a big one. Not a big one. 27 millipoints. Fair enough. The big play, stepping up and tempo hitting and bringing some... oh, this checker was not here. It's this checker. Would have been the better play. Double 5 for Mochy. That's an amazing shot. Basically a game winner. Huge roll for Mochy here. And now it's going to be so difficult for Frank to come back and win this game. I mean, his only chance is to try to counter prime here. So the question is, how do you do that better? That's the 6, and now you have basically 3 equally good 3s to play according to XG. You come slot deuce point, slot the 4 point, or you can hit. He chose the safest of the plays here, the play that loses fewer gammons, which makes sense because of the score. And double 5 Mochy actually does have a chance to point shift here, but I don't think he's gonna do it. I don't think he's gonna risk the entire game by chasing the gammon here and point shifting, making a 5-point board, but it is tempting. I mean, that's the first play I see here, but I think he's just gonna grind it home with a 6 prime, try to win the game. Yeah, that's... Oh, and now he has the final. He could still blitz. I think that's what we're gonna see Mochy do. It's not the best way to win the game. Oh, maybe it is actually, because look at the tempo hit. All of these attackers here are ready to build or attack, so I think he should hit here for tempo. And look at the blitz value as well. If Mochy can close out Frank while Frank still has 7 checkers in the outfield, he's gonna win a ton of gammons. He could actually win the entire match in this game. That is the power of the recube. That would be my play, Mochy. Is he gonna have a look at the point shifting play? This is a big play. I understand why Mochy takes his time here. Okay, that's the non-aggressive play, the passive play. It also makes sense. You're up 18 pips. You have the 6 prime. The problem, however, is that you do give your opponent a chance to use his full roll to make some sort of a priming play here. We have Bob Wachtel taking a photo in the background. Yeah, here we see XG is clearly correct to hit loose on the ace point here. It's clearly correct, and the point shifting play is clearly a blunder. So Mochy must play aggressive. Look, not only do you win more gammons, 27% versus 23%, but you also win more games, 77.6 versus 75.8. So this is a clear play, Mochy. The reason you win more games is because it's a tempo hit as well. It's not just a blitz hit, it's also a tempo hit. Frank doesn't have his full roll to develop his position. I wonder what Mochy is thinking here. Because this is not really a tactical position. Maybe he's comparing how many rolls that he takes away from Frank with the tempo hit. Could be what he's calculating here. Of course, there's a downside to the hit. He could get hit, and then all of a sudden Mochy has 2 checkers stuck behind the prime of Frank here. But I think the risk is still lower doing this play, because if you don't hit, you risk, even though it's just 1 checker, you risk your opponent counter priming. he might catch up in the prime development, in the priming battle. Mochy is taking his time. He should, because it's a big equity swing on this play here. Nope, that's not the right play, Mochy. This is a blunder. It's a small blunder, this play. We can hear some discussion between Ralph Bird and Bob Wachtel in the background. And I believe the third person playing with Bob and Ralph is Jonas Seawald, but I'm not completely sure. We haven't really seen the face of the third character in the background yet. We have Justin with the cameras here recording. That's the play, Mochy. Beautiful play. He does find the best play. He shows why he is the Super Grandmaster, the only Super Grandmaster of the world. And Mochy is down at a PR of 1.18 now. The 5 makes the game interesting, because look at this. Okay, so is that what you do? I guess it's not the best way to win the game, but you lose less gammons by doing it. So I think I like Frank's play here. Mochy enters immediately, that's nice. It doesn't matter too much which one of the 6s. Mochy opts for to leave out with a 22-point checker. Now we're gonna see some counter prime. That's the perfect roll for Frank. He's gonna make the 4-point and he's gonna step up. He's gonna step up with the back checker. It's the perfect roll. Why is stepping up good? Well, it puts a little bit of pressure on Mochy's 8-point. So later on in the game, Mochy can't really use the clear the 8-point safely. So stepping up is really nice, actually. And look at this. I think he should hit. And now he's really hoping for Mochy to enter as fast as possible. What is the game plan now for Frank in this priming battle? Again, we have another difficult prime versus prime position. So Frank can't just blitz here, because if Mochy doesn't enter and move, he's never gonna crunch. Frank has to find a way for Mochy to crunch his 6 prime. Oh, that's a horrible roll for the Super Grandmaster. Horrible roll. Mochy could have simply just danced his way to victory here, but aha, he's looking at the tempo hit here. I don't think that's the right idea. I think you just want to keep your 6 prime. Yeah, it's definitely right to just keep the 6 prime. Hugely right. Any other play will leave him as an underdog. But look at this, Frank is actually a favorite here. If Mochy does find the best play, Frank is a favorite by 52.7%. Mochy does make the right play. He was contemplating the blitzing move, the tempo hit. Frank all of a sudden stops up here and starts thinking. So he's asking himself whether he's the favorite or not, and I think he actually feels like he's the favorite, because he's thinking long and hard on this problem here. So I think it's a big mistake to recube to 8. Frank is ahead in the match by 1 point, which really matters. It really matters that he's leading 1 point here. He's 7 away versus Mochy's 8 away. So this is, I cannot see this being a cube, to be honest. He needs to be more careful cubing here than he would if the score was equal. And Mochy can take much deeper here than he. Basically, if Mochy drops, he's gonna be down 3 away, 8 away. And what's the winning chances there? Now you need to use Neil's numbers unless you remember it. I would say probably, I don't know, less than 20%. Less than 20%, I think. A little bit less than 20%. So Mochy just needs to have 20% or so, whatever the take point for Mochy is, whatever the match winning chance at 8 away, 3 away is. Of course he has it here. We see the XG analysis here. Mochy has 47% winning chances. It's a huge no redouble for Frank here. He's even killing his own gammons. Look at this. Frank is winning 14.3% gammon. That basically goes to 0 if you double, because they're not worth anything extra. So it doesn't matter whether you win these 14% gammon. Much better to maximize your equity by allowing your gammons to count. You're gonna win the match with the gammon here. But he must think that he's a pretty big favorite here in this position, since he's taking so much time thinking about it. Again, I assume I've never seen Frank play match play, but I assume that he is very strong in the match strategy department. Okay, good, very well played, Frank. Avoided disaster there. And Frank could be thinking about some creative slotting plays here. Oh, it's close. It is close. The slotting play is very close. Oh no, sorry, my bad. It's the 4 point, not the 3 point. The slotting is wrong. Slotting is wrong. This is the right play. Oh yeah, okay. This looks nice and flexible. He would be slotting if he didn't have any nice and flexible moves. That's a great deuce for Mochy. Like a huge, huge, huge deuce. Now he's probably not going to crunch. Now Frank is back to having a big problem to solve. Ah, that is not good. I think he should still try to win this game and clear the 8 point. Because if you just clear the 8 point, you could still win it. If you just clear this point, you still have a bit of a prime going on here, and Mochy could get unlucky and roll a double 4 or something like this. And not be able to... Okay, so he's looking at making the ace point here, which makes no sense blitzing when you're down behind the 6 prime. But the reason it might make a little bit of sense is that it may be the best way to avoid losing a gammon. But I think it's just too early here. It's just too early to give up, and we see the result. It's not even the best way to lose a gammon, to avoid the gammon. His play was better in both winning and avoiding to lose a gammon. So Frank at least has a small fighting chance here. Again, it makes no sense if you want to win the game to blitz and make the ace point, because Mochy has the almighty 6 prime. So Frank is trapped. I think he should just go ahead and clear the 7. At least he's gonna give some double 4, double 5 problems for Mochy here. But this is just too good to double. If Mochy doesn't have that decision, of course. But okay, at least Mochy has a. This is a luxury decision for Mochy, because he's gonna figure out, how do I squeeze him better? How do I extract the most equity I possibly can from my opponent here? So is it just by avoiding the crunch? And that's actually the move he makes, but look how close it is, because you can win more gammons if you went for the closeout now. Or actually it's more of a fishing play. You're hoping to get hit and then come in and fish for more checkers. Okay, so what was that, 2-1 or 3-2? 3-2 for Frank. He has to blitz, unfortunately, and now he's vulnerable. Frank is vulnerable. Okay, so again Frank is in gammon save mode, so there might be a creative play here. What about clearing the 5 point? Clearing the 5 point is worth having a look. Yeah, he's looking at it. I like that he looks at it. I don't know if it's the best play, but I like that he looks at it. Okay, so look at this. The best play is actually to slot the ace point. And you might be thinking, why am I slotting if I'm trying to not lose a gammon? Why am I leaving a direct shot? Well, it's a short-term versus long-term decision. I like this play, and look, it's just 7 millipoints behind. It might even be better if you rolled it out, who knows. But slotting the ace point according to XG is slightly better, because you're sacrificing a little bit of short-term risk by having more long-term safety, because then you can make the ace point next time. You can start to clear from the rear and just voluntarily crunch, but at least not leave more shots. Yeah, again the same decision here for Frank. Do we just play safe or do we slot the ace point? There is also the added bonus of slotting the ace point, is that if Mochy comes in with an ace and hits you, he might be there might be a miracle for Frank that Mochy will never roll a 4 or 6. So he could actually win the priming battle. It's highly unlikely, of course, but there is that added little added bonus. Which is just gonna grind him down here. He's actually happy to fan. He's gonna see if he can collect more shots here and try to win the gammon. Okay, again, he actually has 2 good alternatives here, Frank. Both plays are good, making the ace point and clearing from the rear, both are good. Yeah, we see XG saying that they are very close in value. Clearing is slightly better. You simply lose less gammons. I don't really understand why you win 0.3% more games by making the ace point rather than clearing, but I can understand why you lose less gammons. Okay, close, very close. Mochy is hoping that Frank is gonna leave a shot here. Double 5, no shots. No shots left. 6-1, Mochy of course is just gonna keep the 6 prime. Now he's just looking at, see if he can get more numbers here. He could actually get, now he's gonna get 6-4, but before he had 6-5, so not a big gain. Mochy's gonna roll his 6 prime here. For those of you who haven't seen that before, the strategy for Mochy is to simply slot or attack at the next point in his prime, then make it and keep the 6 prime rolling until you get to the full closeout. It's a very, very common strategy when you have a 6 prime, rolling the prime 6 prime forward one step at a time. Okay, Mochy, he can't hit loose here, he's just waiting. It doesn't really matter what he moves here. Okay, he chooses to slide over. Now it's a 5 that he's gonna attack with next time. Frank is happy not moving there. He's quite happy. Okay, so now we're just gonna see him just make the 2 point immediately with a double 3. Just switching for 8-2. There we go. No need to slot the prime when you can just roll perfect numbers. But now we're gonna see a slot with the 6. Yeah, that's the slot. There we see the strategy. He's just rolling the prime 1 point at a time. That's actually not good for Frank. He would have preferred to just stay out. But now Mochy gets a small chance to try to fish for more checkers. And look at this. There is an ugly 3-2 here from Frank. Double 3 is pretty good. He gets the safety, and he's even helping the viewers, me and the viewers, to show exactly how many checkers we have on the point here. It's not viewer friendly when they just stack them up right on top of each other. So at least Frank is helping us a little bit there. Yeah, the deuce doesn't really matter. All that matters for Mochy is that he's gonna roll the prime, and it looks like it's gonna be an easy walk in the park here for Mochy. The big question is whether Mochy can win a gammon in this game. And the gammon rate, since Frank has all of his checkers in his home board except for the back checker, it's gonna be very difficult for Mochy to win a gammon. Unless Mochy can fish for more checkers. We can see here the gammon rate is 6.2% here for Mochy. And that's not so much when he closes out one checker, that's actually when he fishes for more checkers. There, that's a great roll for Frank, because now the fishing opportunity is completely gone. Mochy cannot fish for more checkers now. At least it's highly unlikely. Frank needs to roll a double ace or something. He doesn't, and it's just gonna be, probably just gonna be a single win here for Mochy. Both losing the game and winning a gammon, both are highly unlikely instances here. Almost 30-1 instances. It doesn't matter much what you play here, Mochy. Really doesn't matter. Look at the equities, how close they all are. But of course, he's a super grandmaster, so he's finding the best play. well done, Mochy. Really well done. Really nice. So here he has the 12s to hit and the 11s. Okay, beautiful play again from Mochy. He knows that this one here is actually quite useful, because double 3 and double 6 and double 4 hits on the ace point hit loose, and he gets to keep the 6 prime with it. Wow, he just plays completely accurate on all of these tactical moves. That's impressive. You know, not just like he finds the best, even though you might ask yourself, what's the difference between these moves? There's no strategic difference at all. Well, it's all about tactics. It's all about these micro optimizations, and there we get to see, you know, that that's a super grandmaster in action. It's pretty impressive to see, actually. Again, millimeter precision from the super grandmaster, and Frank can do nothing, just sit there and take it. Yeah, this is an easy play, of course, for Mochy. He hits loose and rolls the prime. rolls the 6 plan and creates the optimal flexibility with the rest of his spare checkers here. Now you just want to get the crossover. I think there is a little bit more gammon in getting the crossover now.
Oh, it's closed out. Oh.
Oh, Frank just has to realize that he's closed out and he can't roll the dice. It took him a second or two to compute. Mochy is this is the play, Mochy. Yes, it's a clear play. It's because of the crunched inner board of Frank. When your opponent has such a crunched position, you have the green line signal to just maximize the checkers you can bear off. And even though he's gonna leave a shot now, Mochy, I think it's the same idea here. Just maximize, Mochy. Just take a checker off. Yes, it is the right play. Take a checker off is the right idea. You just want to maximize checkers off here to try to win that lucky running gammon. Ah, that's a mistake, Mochy. I think it's the second error we see from Mochy in the match. That, yeah, he slipped. His concentration level slipped. Nice roll from Mochy. He gets rewarded from his inferior play. And all of a sudden we have some gammon here. Look at the PRs, how beautiful both players have played. I think that Frank didn't have too many big decisions here. He had the recube take, which was a take, so he made the right decision, but it's like he didn't really realize how tough a decision that actually was. Mochy has had a couple of decisions, but just played perfectly so far. Look at this, Mochy, he can... Wow, look at this! That's the play! He's leaving a shot. This is the voluntarily leaving a blot play, so he gets down to a 3-roll position. What an amazing play from Super Grandmaster Mochy. He realizes that there's not a big risk in getting hit. Look, he gained a full roll here, Mochy. He could win the gammon. That was a masterful play from Mochy, taking off 2 checkers with that 3-2. Look, he gets the chance. He wouldn't have had the chance if he hadn't made that play. If he can roll a double here, he gets the... Wow, he wins the gammon. But that was well deserved, I think.
An interesting first. What a fucking game. That was unbelievable. I know a little bit about the game. That was a cracking game. Holy crap.
Won the show like number 5.
The fans are...
Beautiful play. Yeah, guys, remember to check out the Neptune Alpha board. It's in the Galaxy shop. At the moment, it's only for the US residents, but it's coming to Europe and the rest of the world very soon. And thank you guys for watching. See you next time in the next match. And well done to both players playing a beautiful PR in the ones. But Mochy is going to take home the Galaxy rating here, winning the match and the PR. See you next time, guys.
Thanks for watching this video. Did you smash that like button? Remember to subscribe and click on the notification bell to don't miss out on future videos. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and my personal Instagram, Marc Olsen 10. And see you in the next video.